Studion saapui aivan loistava burleskitaiteilija Vivienne Vavoom. How are you, darling?
Excellent, thank you.
But you're not here in Helsinki only for the Burlesque Festival. You also have a spanking new book coming out. It's called Burlesque and the New Bump and Grind. What's it all about?
It's about the history of burlesque and also everything that's going on now. So all the new performers, the new scene.
Is it like a picture book, or what sort of book is it?
It's a picture book, but there's a lot of writing. I did a lot of writing. So, there's tons about circus burlesque and the different genres of new burlesque. And it talks about the legends, the women who went before us.
Whoa.
The burlesque scene has had a rocketing new rise in the last few years. How did that happen?
I kind of feel like it came from that whole era in the early 90s when people were interested in rockabilly, when they were interested in dressing like our grandparents and looking back at that era and started to discover these amazing burlesque performers that we had forgotten for a long time. People thought that they were too naughty, and my grandmother definitely doesn't think that it's a very respectable thing to do.
No.
But all of us, we look at it and it seems very cute and kind of kitsch.
But you won't get clothes from your grandmother.
Well, she's come along. She's definitely come along. She's a seamstress. She was trained in London, and she actually helped me with my last outfit and helped me sew it. It was a pretty intricately beaded dress, and she helped me put it together. So that was neat. So she hasn't come to a show yet, but she's definitely. I think her interest has peaked because I'm in the paper, and she likes that.
Cool. But tell us about your shows. What do you do in your shows?
I do more classic burlesque. I definitely love all genres of burlesque, the more edgy new burlesque. But my shows very much are reminiscent of like the 20s, 30s, 40s burlesque, to old jazz, a lot of stuff with great old horns and drums. And I really try and emulate the moves of the old burlesque. I've had a lot of legends who have come up to me after a show and said that they could have imagined me performing with them in the 50s, and that's a fabulous, fabulous compliment from them.
But you're a bit of a historian, aren't you?
Oh yes, I'm a giant nerd for burlesque. I thought the burlesque died and then it kind of came back in the 90s, but there's really this whole underground movement where burlesque kept happening, which is kind of neat. People who kept doing it wouldn't let go of it and kept it in their club. And then also people in the 80s who were doing the big striptease competitions. And you saw them bringing back the giant glasses and the feather fans because they had to do something amazing. So you look at someone like Catherine Delish, who's very, very well known, and she started in the 80s doing those kind of competitions and then went further, and now she's one of the biggest stars of the new burlesque.
When did you start?
I started in 1998. When I started out, it was definitely a learning process, explaining to people this is what we do and this is what burlesque was, and bringing pictures and explaining. But I think especially people like Dita Von Teese, who's a worldwide star and people really know, a lot of times I can say what we do is like what Dita Von Teese does, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I get it.
But I've been wondering about this whole tassel twirling thing. Yeah. How can you get them to like moving in different directions and everything? It's all about the wiggle, right? It's
about the wiggle. Sometimes bounce. Okay. And so if you bounce and put an arm up, they go one way, and then put the other arm up and they go the other way. You can also roll a shoulder and have one go, roll a shoulder and have the other one go. It's very complicated.
I mean that's science. That's true science.
Rocket science.
Physics.
If I would work on a PhD, it would be tassel twirling.
I think that's a good study.
Yeah.